Today is Monday, January 18th, and welcome to episode 44 of Knits and Stuff. My name is Alicia, and today we'll be talking about finished objects, works in progress, pretty things, local delights, and wibbly wobbly timey-wimey. But first, welcome to those of you that are new, and for those of you that are returning, thanks for coming back. If you haven't already, there's a group in Ravelry that you can join. It's called Knits and Stuff Podcast, and there'll be a link in the show notes, which are at knitsandstuff.wordpress.com. So let's get started. I have finished objects this week, yay! So I was working on some top-down socks. The Knit More Girls Vanilla Sock by Jasmine Canty, and these are the finished socks. So this is out of Quarry Fiber Self-Striking Sock, the 75-25 Merino Nylon in the colorway Menorah. It came in a kit, in a Hanukkah kit, which came with this bag and some matching stitch markers, and then the Menorah yarn. So I knit these on US 1's 2.25 millimeters. I made some modifications to the pattern just for the number of stitches I cast on, or 64 instead of 58, I think, or 62 instead of 58, one of those. And it's in my pattern notes. And then I did the heel flap, but I alternated the purl and the slip stitch, purl and slip stitches, so that they had a different pattern than the slip stitch on top of each other. And then and then I did the regular gusset, and then when I got to the toe I did slightly more decreases, I think, because I had more stitches, so, or I did the math to decrease to the right amount to get the right toe. So let me take one of these off. But and these are on my little quirky sock blockers by Perfectly Catchy Designs. I think I got these at Stitches West. So that's what the toe looks like. Oh, and I tried the knitted graft on one of these, and it wasn't this one, it was the other one. And it's basically the same idea as Kitchener stitch, but with Kitchener stitch you use your needle, your sewing needle, like the yarn needle, as opposed to a knitting needle, and that is that's I find that to be a little bit easier than trying to do the knitted graft. But in the pattern they give both options. There's Jasmine's preferred method and Gigi's. So but yeah, I think I prefer the regular Kitchener stitch with the needle instead of the knitted graft. But yeah, so these are ready to be washed, and then once they dry I will stick them in the bag and send them off for a very late Hanukkah gift. And this is how much yarn I have left, so that's quite a lot. These are made to fit basically size 8 to 9 probably, is what my friend's shoe size is. So, and the leg is about as long as the foot. So even with all of that, there's so much yarn left. I haven't weighed it yet though, but yeah, I'll probably, I don't know what I'll do with I wonder if there might be enough to make some shorter socks for me. Maybe not. maybe like if I use a different color heel. Oh, that's a good idea. So I might do some of that. So yeah, that's my finished objects. I haven't had one in a while. So I'll just leave this in front. So works in progress. I am working on that winter sea shawl, and this is in the silver shed bag. So this is the Winter Sea Shawl by Liz Abenanti. I'm knitting it out of A Verb for Keeping Warm Clover in the colorway Beach Glass, and on US 6's 4.0 millimeters. And I knit 2 rows since I last showed it 2 weeks ago. So, but the rows are, like I said, like I said before, much longer than they were when you start out. So it's taking a little bit longer to get through each row, but it is still using up a bit of yarn. So I am getting close to going through all the yarn, and then once I get a little bit closer to the end, I'll start weighing it and seeing how much it takes to do a row, and hopefully I'll have enough to do a cast off and not much more left over. So yeah, so that is the winter sea shawl. And then I'm also working on something new that I got as a Christmas gift, and it's not knitting, but it is a cross stitch, I guess you would say. So my friend got me the Year in Stitches calendar kit. Oh, look at that glare. There you go. And it's from Heather Lynn's Home, and it is basically the 12 months printed on cardstock and with a little cross stitch pattern on it, and you can poke holes, and it comes with the needle and the thread, embroidery floss, and then some instructions, basic instructions, and you get to poke holes in it and then start your own little cross stitch. So this is January. My goal is to finish it this week, or yeah, I guess by the end of last week / this weekend. So I should be able to finish that bottom row today, hopefully. But this part up here is already embroidered, and you can see my stitches on the back. And then I don't know if it's, yeah, you can see that. So those are the holes. You're supposed to pre-poke the holes at the tip of each X. Basically there's a slightly higher, let's see, there's little dots at the end of each X, so you're supposed to poke holes there, and it'll make it easier to go through when you have your floss and your needle. So yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily easier. I guess it's a little bit faster, but it's still kind of hard on your hands to work with paper or to work with cardstock and then a full embroidery floss thread, because you're not splitting. Normally you cross stitch, you split like 1 or 2 strands of the embroidery floss out, but with this you're using the whole thing. So I feel like it's a little bit harder, so it's taking a little bit longer than maybe regular cross stitch would. But yeah, but that's another work in progress. So hopefully I'll finish this soon, and then I'll finish February's before February starts. So but yeah, that's another work in progress, and that's all I've been working on, really. So pretty things, I still have a backlog of pretty things to show, but one of the things that I bought a while back is something from Knit Spin Farm. It's one of Joanna's bats. It has, before I open it, it's called Winter Dawn, and it has BFL, Corriedale, Falkland, Merino, and Silk Noil, and it's about 2 7/8 ounces, so almost 3 ounces of fiber, and it's these purples and greens and black, and I'll try to pull it out without making too much noise. And a little bit of blue. So that's what it looks like. So I'm excited to spin to spin this up. I've heard good things about Joanna's bats, so it should be a nice spin. I haven't done much spinning lately, so I've been feeling the itch to do some spinning, but I haven't started anything yet. So, oh, and this is the back of that card. yeah, so that is Pretty Things. And let me stick this back in here. Oh. And that would bring us to local delights. So last weekend, I want to say, if you've seen some of the past episodes, I talked about on one of them doing the Beat the Lurch run in Sacramento. So after my friends and I did that run, we decided it would be fun to sign up for another run. So we signed up for one right after the holidays and didn't train too much for it. So, but it turned out okay. We signed up for the hot chocolate run, and it is all over. They have different locations, but the one near us is in San Francisco, and it happens every January. And at the end of the race, you get hot chocolate, which is why it's called the Hot Chocolate Run, and it's through Golden Gate Park. And I think it was for the Ronald McDonald Foundation. I want to say either that or that was the Beat the Birch one. I'll have to check on that. But so we signed up for the 15K because the race that we ran before that was a 10K, and it turns out that because we signed up for the in one of the later corrals, actually the last corral, by the time we got to the start line, it was a half hour after the race had started. So while we were keeping on pace to what they recommended us to keep on pace to, unless we were to miss some of the aid stations, we still got cut short because I guess we started so late that rather than go down the coast, so the course was go through Golden Gate, then go down the coast of San Francisco, if you're familiar, the west coast of it, and then come back up and then go back through Golden Gate Park, and then and that would be the 15K. But we ended up only running about 6 miles, 5.5 to 6 miles instead, because we started so late. So while it is a fun run and a nice course to do, definitely if you're gonna do it, sign up for one of the earlier corrals so that you're not cut short. Because normally I feel like most races, at least that I've done, have kept the aid stations open generously longer than this one. So usually if you're doing like a walking pace, then you'll meet every aid station and you'll be okay. But for this one, I guess they were pretty strict on time. So if you're gonna sign up for it, sign up for an earlier corral. So next year, if we do it again, we'll probably go a corral or two up. But yeah, other than that, it was fun. It would have been a great day for a run down the coast too, because it was not rainy. It was a little bit sunny and not too cold, but it was a good day for a run. So yeah, that's another run that we did in the city, and that's pretty much it. So we'll probably be looking for another one to do, maybe not in the city this time, but in another local area. So I'll mention that if anyone's interested in signing up for runs or hearing about runs in the area, probably talk about it too. So yeah, that is local delights, and that would bring us to Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey. And I think this week I'll talk about episode 10 of season 9 of Doctor Who, and next week I'll talk about 11 and 12 together. I think that sounds right. And then I still have to watch the Christmas special. So, but if you haven't seen episode 10 of season 9 of Doctor Who, I will put up a little spoiler things here, so I won't spoil anything for you, and you can come back when it's done, or you can just sign up now. And again, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. But otherwise, season 9, episode 10, called Face the Raven, and it was Clara's her farewell episode, and the plot was that one of her friends, who I can't remember what episode he was in before, but the doctor calls them local knowledge. I think it was the one with like the 2D people, or creatures. I think that was the one. But so Clara gets a phone call from Rigsby, and he has a countdown tattoo on his back, and it turns out that that he was framed for a crime by someone, and he couldn't remember anything from this time, from the time that he was found, and he was punished by this countdown to his death, essentially. And so Clara and the doctor had to help him find where he was and find this secret location that was pretty interesting and kind of creepy, I guess, because it was the idea was that you would there would be these locations that you don't even notice, and my phone just went on low battery. There would be these locations that you don't even notice because you're so used to walking by the same places and everything seems so ordinary, and so I guess they're basically these areas that are hidden in plain sight. So this is where this little alleyway was set up, and they took a while to find them, and I guess there was like this distraction technique too that it had, but it was kind of interesting to see that like camouflage method that the alley was using. And the governor of the alley, as they find out very soon, is Shilda, or Maisie Williams. So she's been making quite a lot of appearances in the season this year. And she was the one that put the I already forgot what it was called, but the countdown on Rigsby's back. And because you find out later that not because he actually committed any sort of crime, and the person that he was thought to have murdered wasn't actually dead to begin with, but she wanted to lure the doctor out because she promised him to some unknown people, and so that was pretty messed up of her. I feel like her character is very, I don't know, she's kind of complex, but I don't know that I like her because she's not very good. But I guess she has been living a long time and with no one really to hang out with for a while. She can't get attached to anyone because she can't die, and the doctor doesn't want to hang out with her, so I guess I'd be pretty upset too. So Clara is foolish and asks Rigsby to transfer this curse over to her, which breaks some sort of contract that Shilda had, and now Shilda can't take the curse off, and so Clara ends up dying. Spoilers, and it was actually really sad. So this was another episode that I watched on the plane, and even though Clara is not my favorite companion, I was so sad in this episode when they went through her whole departure and the death and the way she talked to the doctor. It was a pretty good farewell episode, and it was interesting. There were a lot of different things that went on. But yeah, so this was Clara's last season. So but I guess spoilers for the next couple episodes for 11 and 12, she does come back and for the season. But then at the end, I think she's pretty much done. But there is a potential to always bring her or Maisie back if they wanted to. So, but yeah, it was a good farewell episode, and an interesting plot. But the next two episodes get even more interesting, so we'll talk about those next time. But that's pretty much all I have for this week. I think so. So social media stuff, I'm Eliana Knits on Ravelry, Unperfect529 on Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, etc. And the Knits and Stuff podcast group on Ravelry. Come join it if you want. Let me know what you think about Doctor Who if you have any comments on this week's or on this episode's thread. Yeah, and that's all I have for you guys. I should be recording again in 2 weeks, so I will see you guys then, and thanks for watching. Bye.